Well, hello there, humans, hippies, earthlies, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and I'm here today to talk about a couple of little things. Firstly and foremost, I mentioned yesterday that there was going to be a competition committee going on. They're going to be organising things. I've had a chat with a few of the guys from Wargaming. They said that they would support any competitions, and I've got sponsorship from a bunch of the patrons. So we are going to be doing a hunt 'em down bounty style kind of thing. I'm going to be playing on a Monday morning Aussie time, which is Sunday afternoon, early evening for those in the NA. If you shoot me, you go into the draw. You wreck me, I'll probably stream it. You go in the draw to win a yet-to-be-determined prize. There's going to be 3 winners every week, or maybe more, depending on the boys when they finalise this. And then there will be a grand prize winner, hopefully every month. I'm trying to get Wargaming to sponsor us for a nice tank or a rare tank or something cool like that. So heaps of good stuff there going on with the patrons. Those guys are awesome. There's 4 people now in the competition committee. I'm trying to get Martin Dogger on board to be the eye in the sky in Europe to get shot, because he's a good contributor. He's also a patron. He's a great bloke over there. And myself and Snake, and I might even do some streams with Alex DeGiorgio, the producer for Wargaming on Asia, who will also be a marked man, and we'll figure it all out. But basically, if you're a member of the community here and you're part of the fun, stick around, because there's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on, and we're going to have a lot of giggle. I've been running a lot of late on NA, and basically platooning with the patrons, which has been great fun, catching up with everyone. You can see here I'm with Mustang. Later on, I think I'm with Kermit, son of Dennis. I think that's an odd name. And running across a heap of people. It's been a whole lot of fun, a lot of giggle. And I wanted to talk today just briefly about heavy tanks and the role that some of them play on the battlefield and how different they can be. This is the Caernarvon. This is a gun depression, super high damage per minute, British heavy tank with an incredibly good rate of fire and an excellent penetration values. It's got just amazing gun handling, all that kind of stuff. And it shares a fairly strong turret with the ST1, which is going to be the other tank that we talk about here. It's a tier 9 game. You can see how good a quality the Caernarvon's shot making is. Even with, I don't know, what's that, nearly 300 ping going on, we're totally capable of constantly putting in shots. The RU251 over there is going to be an issue. I'm backing up, hoping to, yeah, you can see that's a terrible shot anyway, but we do our best. A little bit of ping issue there. He's going to be a problem for us. We're pulling back. Now this is a really, really mobile heavy. It's a proper mobile heavy with just amazing gun handling and just huge gun depression. 12 degrees of gun depression over the front. It's got a good turret, reasonable armor profile, nothing special. I'm trying to sneak under the guns there. You can see I'm just keeping an eye on that 30. We're about to spend some of Wargaming's money here. We go up here for the 30 because we want to use all the penetration we can on an angled Ferdinand. And I've put the tank in a position to be really successful. But I'm not a bully in this tank at all. I'm just not, because it isn't really a tank that can put damage out without taking damage in a frontal situation. So even though I've got really good gun depression, I've got to be a little bit more careful with this tank than I would with, say, an ST1, which is going to be the other tank that I'm using here. And so I play them very, very differently. And a lot of people who are new to the game fall into the trap of driving a heavy and thinking that because it is a heavy, it is a tank that is going to do exceptionally well up the front and is going to be stronger than all the other tanks and will just be able to soak up damage and be a meat shield. And of course, that is not the case, and it's why a lot of tanks like the Caernarvon get a bad rap, even though they are excessively strong tanks, I find, in the right situation. And it's why a lot of the tanks like the ST1 are considered to be true heavies, and they are in fact true heavies. There's no way around it. The ST1 is an absolutely dyed-in-the-wall, honest-to-God, proper heavy tank. The Caernarvon is very much the definition of a heavium. Look at the agility and the mobility of the tank. And you've got to consider these things when you're thinking of driving up a line. Do you want a heavy that plays like this, that can get excellent traverse numbers, rotate its turret around, hit all its shots, put out lots of DPM? Or do you want a tank that plays like this? where do you sit in the pantheon of heavy tanks? And you can see that's an IS-3. They're fairly mobile, good armor profile, but certainly not enough to deal with an ST-1. And now the ST-1, it has 6 degrees of gun depression, but for all that, it's got an incredibly strong turret. So if you can go hull down on an ST-1, and I'll show you a few examples of that just after this, you can do the business. The ST-1 is all about that base. It's got incredibly good armor. The turret is just probably one of the top 3 turrets in the game, along with tanks like the T-29, the T-32, the T-34. They've all got these ridiculously strong turrets, the IS-7, and you have very, very limited weak points. You also have very, very strong side armor, so you can do this, which is side scraping and bounce shots quite comfortably and angle up. And you can see how I'm keeping the angles on the wall very much consistent with the angles on the side of my tank, and I'm doing that and just not taking damage because I'm just such a tough nut. One of the guys in Patreon, Positive Waves, and I think might have been Slow Z, we're talking today about how they run the ST-1 with double fuel. They find it to be really, really improved. I run it with double rations. I like to improve the gun handling. I find the gun handling on the ST-1 to be the thing that upsets me the most. But you've got penetration, you've got all kinds of things. Is this the kind of tank you want as a heavy? As you progress, you are going to find that what you want out of the game is tremendously different. I tend to do very, very well in the ST-1, but I don't enjoy playing it as much as I enjoy playing a Caernarvon. And because it has lower gun depression, you have to look for opportunities like this, where I'm again spending Wargaming's money to pen an IS-7. I have to use embankments and things and fire over the front right drive wheel. And I'll show you quickly. This is me trying to get shots on a tortoise. And you can see he's right there. He's right there. All I have to do is get the gun down another degree. Come on. He's right there. Could I just get that? I'd really like to hit the tortoise. He's right there. No. And yeah, you get hit for that. That's what 6 degrees of gun depression will give you. I'm a huge fan of gun depression. You can manufacture gun depression. The ST-1 has the ability to drive a little bit harder up an embankment or something like this and get gun depression over the side of the tank, where because you elevate, just take it from me, it's an easier way to get gun depression. And you can use your armor profile to create false gun depression because you don't really have the 12 degrees of gun depression a Caernarvon has, but you can have such a strong armor profile that you can come up and down here and bounce shots even off tier 10 tanks and get gun depression going that way. And you can see I'm trying to put shots into the weak point there, just either side of the turret of the FV215B, but the gun handling and the distance is conspiring against it. So we're going to switch to Wargaming's money again and put a shot into the 268. So what type of heavy driver are you? There are a lot of tanks that blend elements of these two together. The Caernarvon with the mobility and the DPM and the on-the-move firing, and the ST-1 with the huge turret and the strong armor profile. And make no mistake about it, but both of these tanks for me can carry a game. You have tanks like the IS-8, which are all about super top end and speed and troll armor and a very big 400 alpha damage gun. Where you fall in that is going to be very dependent too upon how good you are with the game and how long you've been playing. It's very hard to just walk into an IS-8 or a Caernarvon and do well, because they really do require a lot of awareness of where things are on the map, situationally, and how you go about things can be dependent on your skill level. I just want to say hats off here to Molly and you can see here, these guys are very, very good players. They're much better than me. These two are absolute super unicums. But they could have settled for a draw here, and I sat at the back because I had the hit points, and these guys both pushed and went for the win. I love and salute that kind of gameplay. It is just, it makes my day to see people refused to take a draw and absolutely push even when they were up against it. So hats off, guys. You are definitely pretty awesome. I'd very much like to see more people drive tanks like the Caernarvon and the IS-8 and the Conqueror and realise just how good those tanks are and how good the guns are, and how special games can be with those kind of tanks. But at the same time, there has to be a place in the world for the ST1 and the IS-4s and the IS-7s and those kind of tanks. Well, the IS-7 just gets everything. Don't even worry about that. That's nonsensical. And the T-29 and tanks with big guns and slow traverse, and mixtures of gun depression and nuance. You really have to decide where you want to go, how you want to get there, and what kind of driver you are. And you need to decide a little bit later in life if you're going to go with the other guys, like the fast tanks and the movers and the shakers and the lights and the mediums. But it's a nice, safe bet to kick off with a heavy line and just grind your way up it and learn the game at a little bit of a slower pace. And if you do want to do that, an ST1 will protect you and it will make it very, very simple to achieve the task ahead of you. A Caernarvon will be a little bit more difficult that way, and it's going to mean that you have to actually pay attention and make sure your armor's angled the right way all the time and that your flanks are covered and you're using your gun depression. That's what makes Blitz great for me. I really enjoy the nuance in this game. So who are you? Are you a big derpy heavy boy? Are you a very, very quick light in your feet girl? I don't know, but for me, I prefer the light stuff that moves very, very fast. Until next time, I'm Bushka on Blitz. Look after your family, stay safe on the battlefield, and bye for now.